Right, Shalom, giving no praise unto Yabashima, Shabashima, Korash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. And I honor you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. The brother everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Shimei, Shabashima, Korash. Giving no praise unto Yabashima, Shabashima, Korash. Right, this is going to be a relatively short video, in transit style video, based upon a few life experiences that I've been able to see over a few years. And I feel like I can impart a little bit of an opinion, if not wisdom, upon an issue that really Jake has been falling trapped to, which comes really from Esau. Esau is the one that pushes this vibration of over-sexualization of the Negro, Hispanic, and Native American community, and the upliftment of the bad bee. Which, when you look at the foremothers was no bad beasts. Okay, these were women, right? These weren't beasts, right? Over-sexualized beasts, like you see out here. And it's interesting how, really, it's only when you get into your mid-30s, as I'm getting into my mid-30s, you really start to understand the true purpose of a woman, which is to be an helpmate. And when you're in this truth, we'll start off with the truth. But when you're in this truth, really, a helpmate sometimes is just to be on your lonesome self, because that's going to be the most efficient way to exist within this truth. That's going to be the most efficient way within this truth. But what saith the scriptures? If you burn, then you marry. Okay, that's what the scripture says. So, such as one is going to have trouble in the flesh, and that leads me neatly to some of the points that I'm trying to make, and hopefully they're going to be of edification to the church. Now, what I've seen throughout the course is the upliftment of the bad bee in this society. And really what happens over the course of time is you see that the traditional woman is downtrodden. Traditional woman with traditional values, that's seen as a point of contention, a point of mockery. And that's not supposed to be so, because when we go back to that first point, one of the first points I make within this video of being a helpmate, the idea of being a traditional woman is to be a helpmate. And we see with the legacy of the prophets of the Lord, that's a very important lot to have. For the women that's out there, and your husband is a man of the Lord, and you're playing the part of a helpmeet, and you see with this world, everybody's gonna be out there. Everybody's gonna be out there on the gram. Everybody's gonna be seen to be doing something, and you're laying in the cup playing a role. That's a very important role that you're playing. Okay, you might not get some accolades, worldly accolades for it, but that's a very important role you play. And we see with these women out here, these beasts out here, they might look nice. They might have the big fat booty. Okay, they might have the big fat booty, the glowing weave. She might smell like what's the Carolina Herrera? She might smell like Carolina Herrera, good girl. All right, she might have the whole look down on pack, but ultimately what it comes down to is the mindset of these people. Specifically to this video, the mindset of these women. And we see that bad bee mindset is a very disruptive mindset to have with respect to the traditional values that we see pushed within the scriptures, man. That's a very, very selfish, very self-indulgent way to live. And what I've experienced is that is not an efficient way to have a woman raise a family. That is not an efficient way for your wife to be with respect to having a family. And this is where the little bit of experience that I've observed over the years, and I'm seeing the impacts of dudes that got down with a bad bee. They got the pictures when she was looking good. They got up in age. Them kids are messed up within their head. They got psychological issues because the mother was concerned not about the kids, but concerned about herself and how she appears to everybody else. It's a very dangerous thing. Okay, it's a very dangerous thing. So when we're out here and we see every girl smiling because you've been out here, you've been listening, like the elder said, you're listening to Kevin Samuels working out. You start to put 225 on the bench press now. Girls are kind of looking at you differently. It's needful to remember these things that we see within the scriptures, man. It's needful to remember the principles that we see within the scriptures, namely, like this scripture that we got here, right? See if I can quickly have a good read of it, right? Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding. When a woman understands that, look, man, I gotta give my man a little bit of peace because you're studying the scriptures, that's a very important thing within this truth. I gotta give my man some space so let him get some stress out before I say something. That's a woman of understanding, and we see that's a skill that's been lost over the years, because as far as the bad bee is concerned, she's supposed to be the center of attention. What saith the scriptures concerning the structure of a household? What saith the scriptures concerning the structure within a household? How about Shema Shai through the scripture saith, the man is the head of the household. The center of attention, if you will, is supposed to be through the man, not to glorify oneself within mediocrity, but rather to further the truth, to further life, which is furthered through the truth. See, when you sit down with your woman and say, okay, look, man, this is, you ain't gonna break the scriptures down, but out there breaking down Revelations, the 16th chapter to his woman, right? No, when you break down, tell your woman, look, man, this is what we eat, and this is why we eat it. This is the scriptures here, boom. Teach it to the children, and teach that the forefathers, they ate like this. That's a lifestyle. That's a way that's conducive to life. That is a way of understanding. And if your woman is on the same page as you, at the very least, as it pertains onto the dietary laws, onto the social structure, how things are supposed to be, you ain't gonna, man, she ain't gonna, what she need to know about reincarnation for? Now, if she understands, that's beautiful, but that's not really for her. Does not the scripture say, my tabernacle, the tabernacle of Yahweh Shema Shai, dwelleth with men? Does not the scripture say those particular things? So I ain't really, if it happens, it happens. But, I ain't really finna to sit down and break down the scriptures to my woman. I'd rather put that on a video and let the brothers be fed. Okay, I'd rather put that on the video and let the brothers be fed. And if she's going to be saved, what saith the scriptures? She's going to be saved in childbearing. That's what the scripture saith as it pertains unto these women. But going back onto the topic that I was making, that is a very helpful and productive way to live. This is what we eat, and this is why we eat it. And your woman breaks that down to the children. Now you can focus on the mission, which we understand the mission is supposed to be what? The mission ain't supposed to be chasing after some bad bee trying to keep her happy, which again, like I said, that's a very selfish way to live life, especially as it pertains to a woman that has children. You're living out here to live your best life. What the hell are you talking about? You're 35 and you want to be in some club somewhere and you got 3 kids. The fuck you talking about, man? The fuck you talking about? Who's gonna teach these kids something about life? You're out there shaking your ass with your girlfriends, but who's really gonna teach these kids about life? You see, and that's what's fucked up. I mean, I'm getting passionate right here because these are my life experiences. These are things I've seen firsthand, and I've seen the disruption that this type of a lifestyle causes, man. The fuck you talking about? You're gonna be out there in some club when you're 35 years old with 3 kids. What you think you're gonna be doing there, trying to tantalize men with your C-section scars? The fuck you talking about, man? Sit your ass down somewhere and teach these kids somewhere. And we see within the ancient world, that was a thing that was held in high esteem. See, when you raise up kids, which not every kid is gonna be raised up to the same level, we understand that. Look at Esau. Okay, we understand certain seeds was just born to be destroyed. As funny as that might be. We see certain seed was just born to be missile food. Okay? But at the very least, the mother's supposed to be there, and also to the father. But the father's the head of the household, so he's dealing on another level. For example, you see how a corporation runs. The manager, he trains you up to be the best employee, right? Your manager trains you up to be the best employee, and you see the CEO a handful of times. That's the structure that the Most High employed within the household. Not for your woman to be out here being a bad bee, nails all done up, right? Hair all done up, right? Smelling like Carolina Herrera, right? But the kids look a mess. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. They ain't well fed. They ain't getting good cooked meals, all right? They ain't spiritually or physically nutrition. It's like, man, man, anybody that wants to stay within this kingdom, you got a mental health problem, man. Fuck this kingdom, man. This is some bullshit. This is bullshit, man. This is bullshit, man. I ain't never seen anything like this, man. When I was growing up abroad in Africa, my mother took me to school every day. I'll never forget that. My mother took me to school every day. I used to see my mother every day. Now these women are on some next shit. Okay, now you're wondering why your kid has got mental health issues. You're wondering why your son, right, he's growing up unbalanced. Because you fed him an unbalance and showed him an unbalanced way to live. Want to be a bad bee. Anyways, let me, you could tell this is a subject I'm very passionate about. But anyways, let me just finish this up. So, let me read the scripture again. Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding, and hath not slipped with his tongue, and that hath not reserved the man more unworthy than himself. So that's really the point I wanted to make. There's so many other scriptures that I could have used, but I had to find something quick because I was in transit trying to get somewhere before I go to another place in this job of mine. But yeah, man, I hope that's self-edification, man. Be careful, man. Not every girl that smiles at you, you're supposed to deal with, man. Okay, you can mess up your whole legacy. You can mess up your children. You see, and sometimes you have to leave because the situation is that bad. And you see these kids grow up messed up in their head because their mom wanted to be a bad bee. It's like, what the hell? It used to be an honor to have a son of an Israelite. Man, that's still a great honor. But these women, you can see they're on something else. But I'm going to say, oh, praise God, about Shema Shai, about Shibukwa Kodash. The bonus unto the apostles, the great millstone. All you brothers that be pushing these truth in sincerity. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom.